Okay, so for all you guys out there who are currently involved in a fitness program, I want to congratulate you on becoming a fitness influencer. Welcome to the community. Now, you're probably saying, JT, what the heck are you talking about? I'm not a fitness influencer. I'm not even that active on social media. In fact, I just started my fitness journey. Well, I have some news for you. Whether you've been participating in a fitness program for a while or you're just getting started, you are a fitness influencer. I'll tell you why, plus share some insight and information on nutrition and give you my workout for the week coming up next on Get Fit for Life. Hi guys, I'm JT and welcome to another episode of Get Fit for Life. Okay, so you may not realize it or even appreciate the fact that you are now a fitness influencer. You become a fitness influencer once you initiate a fitness program, because the fact is, what you're doing, the challenge you have accepted to improve the quality of your life will serve as inspiration to others. Family members, friends, colleagues, even people you don't really know will be impacted and influenced by your actions. The reality is, what you're doing to improve or maintain a healthier way of life will not go unnoticed. The determination, fortitude, will, and dedication you put forth to create and maintain a healthier lifestyle will serve as inspiration for others to do the same and to follow your path. How do I know? Well, I see it firsthand every day, and I've experienced it in my personal life. I want to share a quick story with you. So, I have 4 children, and as I've mentioned before, I have been actively involved in a fitness program for over 25 years. So, I've been involved in fitness pretty much my entire adult life. Now, during that time, I was also helping to raise my family. I would attend and coach my kids' games, just to stay involved whenever and however I could. And while doing this, I also made sure I was doing what was necessary to maintain my fitness program. Now, many times this meant starting my workouts at 8 or 9 p.m. after my children were asleep. It was not exactly ideal, but it was what was necessary to maintain my fitness program. Now, I did this for several years so I could continue to be involved and engaged in their activities. I was also thinking about the future and any potential grandchildren I might have, trying to hedge my bets, so to speak, right? Now, I never thought during those years about the impact or impression my continued participation in my fitness program might have on my children, or whether they even noticed, quite frankly. Well, apparently they did, because as my children have grown and become young adults, I can see the impact and influence my dedication to fitness has had on them. They all, from my oldest to youngest, currently participate in fitness programs. They all live and maintain a healthy, active lifestyle that includes daily exercise. Now, I can assure you, I never suggested or pushed my children to live this way. It was their choice. But I'm sure their decision was influenced by seeing me and the dedication and passion I had for fitness. Now, I'm very proud and pleased they all decided to follow my path because I believe it's the healthiest way to live your life. My point is, we don't always know, understand, or appreciate the impact our actions have on the lives of others. Just know that somebody is taking notice. So don't take what you're doing, the journey you're on, for granted. You don't have to have a huge Instagram following, YouTube channel, or even a podcast like me to be a fitness influencer. And it doesn't matter whether you're young or old, whether you're in shape or getting there. Because you're not only impacting your life, you're potentially impacting and influencing the lives of others. So once again, I want to welcome you to our community of fitness influencers. We are happy to have you. Okay guys, welcome back. So if you've been involved in a fitness program, and especially if you're into like resistance training for muscle building, or if you're training to add more lean muscle to increase your resting metabolic rate, protein consumption is usually a focus of your attention, right? Now, as I've said before, I'm not a nutritionalist. However, I did sleep in a Holiday Inn Express last night. No, just kidding. Seriously, although I'm not certified as a nutritionalist, I do a lot of research and often speak with a variety of qualified people on the subject of nutrition because I know how important proper nutrition is to achieving and sustaining good results. So if you've heard or read anything about protein, you probably already know there are complete and incomplete proteins, right? Now, this refers to the amino acids they do or don't contain. Proteins are made up of amino acids, which are essential for things like building muscle, maintaining good bone health, producing antibodies, some hormones, and a lot of other good stuff that we need to function at an optimal health level. So there are 20 important amino acids, 9 of which are essential because our bodies can't produce enough, or in some cases, any of them. So we need to get these essential amino acids from our food. Now, all food contains some of these 9 essential amino acids, but there are some foods like beef, pork, poultry, fish, meat, eggs, quinoa, hemp seed, chia seed, and soy that have those 9 essential amino acids in proportions that are optimal for producing body protein. This is why they are considered complete protein sources. Now, foods like grains and beans are limited in one or more of the essential amino acids, which is why they are referred to as incomplete proteins. Now, for example, grains, well, they're high in essential amino acids like methionine and cysteine, but low in lysine. Beans, which are legumes, are relatively low in methionine and cysteine, but high in lysine. This is why rice and beans are a great combo, because together they provide all the essential amino acids you need. It's really the perfect marriage. Well, if you can deal with the consequences, if you know what I mean. Anyway, this is true of any grain-legume combination. Okay, so the reason I brought up this subject of complete and incomplete proteins is I get a lot of people ask me if they can meet their specific protein requirements without consuming a ton of meat and dairy products, right? Because, there are certain issues with consuming a lot of meat and dairy products, and a lot of people are not into, specific supplements. So, they ask this question, well, if I have a plant-based diet, can I still get sufficient amount of protein? Well, the answer from all of the research I've gathered and from the people I've spoken to is yes, you can get sufficient protein from plant-based foods, provided you're eating the right foods and meeting your caloric intake requirements on a daily basis. So that's really the determining factor here. You have to get the right foods, right? The right combination of foods, and you have to make sure that you're meeting your caloric intake targets. So for example, if you're somebody who's trying to bulk and you're going to try to do that on a plant-based diet, you're going to have to consume a lot of food to meet those requirements, because typically plant-based foods don't have as many calories. So just, keep that in mind. Now, there are a lot of benefits of plant-based diets, right? Plant-based diets decrease your risk of type 2 diabetes by as much as 23%. That's pretty significant. They lower the risk of heart disease. Eating rice and beans or grains and legumes is less expensive than meat and fish. So that's another benefit. And there was a Harvard study of about 125,000 people that found that eating a plant-based diet can lower body weight, which again makes a lot of sense because, it's going to speed up your metabolism. The greens are going to, be easier to process, and it's probably going to help you overall with maintaining a lower weight. Plant-based diets can also increase your level of beneficial antioxidants like carotenoids and flavonoids. I might have butchered that pronunciation, but the point is there's a lot of benefits to a plant-based diet. Now, me personally, I believe in variety, So I choose to eat a variety of foods that include animal and plant-based proteins. I do get my fair share of plant-based proteins, don't get me wrong. But again, my whole thing is long-term sustainable. So do I want to stay on a strictly plant-based diet indefinitely? No. I want some variety. I want to mix it up. I find that this is what works best for me in terms of results and, sustainability, really. And I would recommend that you do that as well. Find what works best for you, your lifestyle, and what aligns with your specific fitness goals. And, come up with a meal plan that meets your nutritional requirements, because that's really important. And of course, you want something that you can sustain indefinitely. Those are usually the ones that work best in my experience. So again, you can definitely get a good portion of protein from strictly plant-based diets. But for me personally, I like to mix it up. I like the variety. And, I'll lean more towards plant-based in terms of overall. But I do like to mix in some animal-based proteins as well. But again, find out what works for you. And, if you can sustain strictly a plant-based diet for an indefinite period of time and it works with your specific goals and it helps you maintain your caloric targets, well then that's great. Because I think most of the research supports plant-based diets being healthier overall and in the long term. Okay, so that's going to wrap up the nutritional segment of this episode. Now I want to give you my workout for the week. It's a pretty basic full body workout that you can incorporate into your current fitness program. That's coming up next on Get Fit for Life. Okay, so this workout, like I said, it's pretty basic. It's a full body workout. I'm going to give you kind of the breakdown of the exercises that you can do and the days that you'll do each particular exercise, okay? So day one, we're gonna start with upper body, which is basically gonna be biceps and triceps, okay? We, obviously understand, we have shoulders and chest as part of upper body and back, but we're not gonna do that on day one. So for day one, we're gonna concentrate on biceps and triceps, and I'm gonna give you a bunch of different exercises, and what I would tell you is to pick 2 that incorporate dumbbells, 2 that incorporate a barbell, and then maybe 1 cable machine. Now you can mix that up if you want to your specific likes or needs, but that's kind of the general kind of starting point, right, for people that are on a beginner or intermediate level. Now if you're more advanced, you're probably going to want to get into, a little bit more detail and a little bit more difficulty and volume in terms of the exercises, the sets and reps and so forth. But so this is kind of I would categorize this as a basic to intermediate workout, okay? So again, here's some options to do for day one, biceps, triceps. You have your seated one-arm curls, standing easy bar curls. Now what I like to do with the easy bar curls, if I'm doing them standing, is I like to put my back against either a wall or something that supports my back, and then I bend my knees slightly, push my lower back into either the wall or the pad that I'm using so that I take my back out of the equation. It really changes the focus on your biceps and you're not basically swinging the weight up at that point. So try that. Next, you can do modified spider curls on an incline bench. You can also do these with a barbell, which I find works well for me. Next, you can do reclining cable curls, which is basically pulling a bench up to the cable machine and using either a bar or the rope. And as you're laying down, you're taking the bar or the cable from your upper thighs into the curl position. Again, these work well because it puts the concentration on the bicep, the muscle you're trying to work, and takes your lower back out of the equation. So you're not compensating the movement by using or engaging your lower back. It's really pretty much all your biceps at this point. Another bicep movement you can do is the cable flex curl. I think you've seen these being done. It's almost like you're being stretched by the cable. As you're standing up, your arm is extended out fully, and then you do the the curl. Now, what I like to do with this particular exercise is I like to take it where my elbow's up and I'm bringing the curl underneath as opposed to up. I've seen it done both ways. It's really a matter of preference. And then the final thing you can do for biceps is seated cable rows, either on a cable machine or simply using the rope, and you're either seated on the floor or you can use a bench and just set the cable at the height you need to set it. Now, if you're really feeling ambitious, what you can do at the end of this is pull out some resistance bands and do some curls with those as well, either single arm or two arm curls. That's a great finisher. Something that I like to do personally is I like to do pull-ups and chin-ups as my finishers. I actually do those in between my sets of everything that I do. So, I'll do a set of whatever exercise I'm doing, then I'll go do 10 either pull-ups or chin-ups, and then go back to my set. It's a great way to keep that pump and to really maintain a consistent heart rate as well. So, once you get a little more advanced, you can incorporate that in as well. Now for triceps, we're going to do single arm cable presses, which is basically you're standing, you have you're holding the cable in one hand and you're just doing your press down. Next, you can go right into a two-handed tricep press. Now what I like to do with these is I like to reverse my grip so my palms are facing up, and basically you bring that bar down to your thigh, and as you bring that bar down to your thigh, you're really squeezing the tricep. It's a good way to really hit that tricep muscle. You can also do barbell skull crushers. The barbell skull crushers, you're going to have a close grip and you're going to have your barbell right almost to your forehead. That's why it's called a skull crusher. Again, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps is a good start. Tricep kickbacks, lean over onto a bench. Make sure your back is at a 90, bringing the dumbbell back to a parallel to the floor position, and then back to a 90. This is a good one you can do if you have access to TRX ropes. TRX tricep extension. So basically, you're holding onto the TRX cables or ropes, and you're letting yourself go out to a bent position and then straightening back up again. Seated one-arm tricep presses are a good one. You can use the cable machine for that. And then, if you want to do a finisher, you can do dips or close grip push-ups are really good finishers for those type of workouts, okay? And that's really going to be your bicep tricep workout for day one, okay? Again, you want to do probably a minimum of 5 exercises for each. If you can do 8, that's great, because volume is always good with arms. That's what I found personally. I like to do volume. I don't do as much heavy weight. I'll hit heavy weights on certain days, but most of what I do is really based on volume. So 5 to 8 exercises of each, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps will do the trick. You're going to really start to feel that, and you're going to have a great pump going. Okay, so that's day 1. Now day 2, we're going to scale it back a little bit. It's going to be kind of a rest day. It's going to be a light cardio day. So, if you want to do a long walk, or if you want to do some light treadmill work, something like that, that's fine. But we're not going to do any type of resistance training on day 2, okay? However, we're going to come back on day 3, and we're going to hit it hard on day 3 with chest and shoulders. So on day 3, we're going to do an upper body combo. Again, it's going to be chest and shoulders, and I'm not going to get into every specific exercise that you should do for chest and shoulders. Suffice to say, there's plenty of stuff out there online that you can look at as far as exercises to do. What I would tell you is just follow the same approach that you took on day 1. So 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps of each, and try to get in, 5 to 8 exercises for each, depending on, how you feel and so forth. Again, you want to make sure that going into these workouts that you're going to be fueled. As I've always said, you got to be able to fuel your fitness. You got to be able to fuel your workouts so that you can give an optimal performance. Okay, so after day 3, day 4 is going to be ab work. Again, not going to go into every specific ab exercise that you can do. There is a ton of different ones out there. Look for ones that are beginner or intermediate. Don't go for the advanced right away. There'll be plenty of time and opportunity to do that. Remember, this is a beginner to intermediate workout we're doing here, right? Okay, so after day 4, day 5 is going to be the dreaded leg day. Now, that's just me personally. I'm not a huge fan of leg day, but you have to do it, okay? So again, there's a lot of different exercises out there. What I would recommend is that you do, some of the major movements, right? Especially on that first week. And what I like to do is I like to mix it up between heavier stuff and dynamic sets, and then scale back the following week and do higher rep counts and maybe a little bit lower weight. So for this first week, we're going to do some squats, we're going to do some deadlifts, we're going to do some other type of, big compound movements to really get the blood flow going and to really activate those muscles, okay? So that's going to be your leg day. Again now, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. You want to do maybe 5 to 6 exercises with legs, and depending on how you feel. Now, this one is really important that you are fueled properly, because you're going to get exhausted pretty quickly doing these major movements. I tell you that from experience because I've been there, done that, okay? So make sure you're fueled going into your leg day. Day 6, we're going to rest. It's going to be a complete day off. You're going to chill, listen to one of my podcasts, read a book, get outside, but do something other than be in the gym, okay? Just take it easy. Take the day off, both mentally and physically. Okay, day 7, we're going to come back. We're doing some cardio and some ab work, all right? So the cardio work, you can do some low-level HIIT training, which is high-intensity interval training, but in this case, it'll be moderate, so you can do a moderate intensity interval training circuit, and I would say, maybe a 2-minute circuit and do 3 of those, okay? Moderate. You can maybe incorporate some treadmill work into that, and then you want to do some ab work after that. So do your cardio stuff first, and then go into doing your ab work. You probably want to split it like a 20-20 split, 20 minutes of cardio work, and then 20 to 30 minutes of ab work, depending on how long it takes you to get through an ab routine, okay? And that's going to be your kind of week workout, okay? Now, what I'd like to do is have you do that for 4 weeks, okay? And let's see what kind of results you get. And, you can, like I said, you can always contact me or reach out if you have questions on specific exercises or specific movements, but I think that's a good starter for a lot of people. It kind of gets you into the rhythm, into the routine of working out on a consistent basis. It's not overwhelming both physically and mentally. It's definitely doable, and it's something where if you stay with it, you're definitely going to see results, provided you are eating properly. Okay, that's always a caveat to anything, any advice I give as far as workouts or training. You have to be able to align your nutrition with that. Otherwise, a lot of that time you spend in the gym is going to be a waste. Okay, I tell people that all the time. You got to get the nutrition right. You got to nail that down. Okay? So guys, that's going to wrap up this episode. You got a little bit of everything today. You got motivation, information on nutrition, and some training knowledge. And I really believe that combining those 3 components is the key to getting fit for life. Well, guys, that concludes this episode. If you have any questions, comments, you can hit me up at jtgetfitforlife@gmail.com. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And please remember to download, share, and like the Get Fit for Life podcast whenever you can. It is greatly appreciated. You can listen to the Get Fit for Life podcast pretty much wherever podcasts are available. Also, I want to let you guys know that we'll be launching the Let's Get Fit for Life website soon. So I'll give you guys a heads up as soon as that goes live. Once again, Thanks for listening and for giving me an opportunity to help you get fit for life.